Hi, it's James Saracen. It's time for Thursday Thoughts. Today we're going to talk about another influence on me and one of my favorite drummers when I was growing up. It's from the band Kansas, and the drummer is Phil Ehart. Um, I think that I had heard of Kansas from some friends, but it was really the album Left Overture that really grabbed my attention to where I just dove in at first. I happened to be playing in a band at the time, my first rock band that I was in. It was called El Deborah, and there's a story about that. Sunday Stories, if you want to go back and look at it. I think it's called My First Rock Band. And we actually did Carry On My Wayward Son as a cover tune. But that being said, I was just so impressed by that album. Then I went back and bought Song for America and Mask, and I think the first one might just be called Canvas. Anyway, I got that. And then, of course, after that, I got, I think after Left Overture was the Ship's Going Off the Corner of the World. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the album right now. But, of course, Dust in the Wind is on there. Point of No Return. That might be the name of the album, actually, Point of No Return. But Portrait He Knew. Just some great tunes. I think Paradox is on there. And then I think the next one, they had a hit called The People of the South Wind. Again, I'm drawing Monolith, I think is the name of that. And then the album Audio Visions, which was a different sound for Kansas, but one of my favorite tunes, period, is No One Together, is actually on that album. And there's a tune called, I think it's called Leaving by My Back Door, which he does just, this really cool marching thing at the end of it. And the drum sound changed quite a bit on that, more of a deeper, punchier drum sound. But anyway, I'd always been impressed by the band Kansas because they were, I don't know if I want to say progressive rock, but they were, in terms of that they definitely used odd times, and a lot of the music that they played, it wasn't necessarily commercial. They had chunks of sections of the tune that would go into odd time, or really steal ideas from classical music in a lot of ways and piece different sections of the tune together to where it wasn't just a formula of a verse and a chorus and a bridge or something. It was really, really cool. Definitely a precursor to a lot of later bands and whatnot. But I think, again, the album Left Overture was the first one, and it just was really interesting to try to learn the parts that he played. And at the time, I believe he played Slingerland and just had a single kick, a single rack, and two floors, kind of like a Buddy Rich type setup or a John Bonham setup. And I was so into that and so influenced by that, and not only the music, but Buddy Rich and that setup as well, that I had actually had a double bass kit that I got a second bass drum for as a freshman in high school, and played that through high school. And right at the end of high school and going into college, I traded that kit in and ordered a new kit, and it was Premier at the time. And I got a 24-inch kick, a 14 by 10 rack, and a 16 and 18-inch floor tom. And that became my kit. Now, obviously, it didn't work out great in terms of a lot of jazz combo work, but it did work out in a lot of the rock stuff I was doing. I really wanted to go back to the smaller kit with bigger drums. I was really into that at the time. And of course, we go through different changes and cycles, and when we do different things. And so that was my kit. Now, I did eventually order a double pedal for that. In fact, when I ordered it, I was on a waiting list to get it because it was such a new product from DW that when I ordered it from a local music store, that was, it was a brand new product at the time, and it took quite a while to get it. That's when they had the crooked left beater. It looked like I don't know what the shape of that is. Up, over, up. The pedal was like that. So it's not as solid as a lot of the double pedals they have today. But anyway, trying to copy, and I put headphones on and try to learn some of the stuff that Phil Ehart was doing. And I just really thought that he did a great job of orchestrating or creating great drum parts for the music that Kansas was doing. And you know, later on, the band went through several changes, and some of Kerry Livgren and some of those people were no longer involved. Of course, the singer that Steve Walsh, I believe, who was the one who was the lead singer on Carry On My Wayward Son and Dust in the Wind and everything, left the band at one point, and they replaced him with a guy named John Elefante, and I think that album was called Drastic Measures, and I still really liked the band, but it was shortly after that that I felt like they really started to lose some of the songwriting. But, you know, some of the stuff that I've heard recently from Kansas has been right up there in being creative and cool and stuff again. So anyway, definitely was influenced by Phil Ehart and his playing, and actually at one point they flew into Boise to do a concert, and they rented one of my drum sets. So he actually used one of my drum sets in concert with a double pedal, but it was a Yamaha Recording Custom, and they had requested floor toms, but my Recording Custom kit has hanging toms. It was 10 and 12 on a stand, and then I had 14 and 16 on the stand, but they just taped the stand down and weighted it down so it wouldn't move and bounce as much, because I think he wanted 18-inch floors, but I didn't have that. So anyway, at the time, so it was cool to have, you know, I actually have a drum kit that I could say Kansas used in concert. I also have one that Dave Weckl used, but that's another story. So anyway, he's definitely an influence. Phil Ehart was definitely an influence, and some recent stuff that I've checked out is really cool again. So the band is rocking hard. I don't know who all is in it anymore, but when I go back and listen to Kansas, I could put it on at any time and just enjoy it. I just love the drumming. I love the music. I love everything they did. And again, if you really want to check out some cool stuff, the tune No One Together is really cool. And there's a tune that, gosh, it may even be on the first album. I'm not exactly sure. I have to think for a minute. And it was called Down the Road. And it's a cool, up-tempo, driving shuffles-oriented feel and whatnot. So anyway, as I talk about my influences and whatnot, Phil Ehart's definitely one of them. And still listen to the music to this day, even the new stuff. So right on Kansas, right on Phil Ehart. Thanks for being an influence. Thanks.